The truth about being an electrical contractor that nobody tells you about. In this episode, I am going to break down what I went through to start my business, which hasn't fully blown yet. It still has issues, but I'm going to go through what happened. Now, what do? You start with a plan. Business, you always need a plan, a vision, a business plan, a dream that needs to become a reality. But life shows its true colors. Everyone sees the wonderful truck with the business name. They see the nice tools. They see the work clothes with the name of the business, along with the name of the person, a proper invoice, a nice professional email, easy to understand website. What they don't see is the cost. They don't see the sleepless night of that owner of that contracting business. They don't see that. They don't understand that when they go to you as the customer, they're going there stressed. They want you to say yes to the dress without them killing themselves. Customers will disappear without even paying. I've had that happen in 2008. And those moments when that contractor, they're dealing all that, he or she will be sitting at the kitchen table, wondering if they really made the right decision. This is what starting a business is like. It's not easy. Social media makes it look easy, like it's you can get it done like that. It doesn't take much. And starting an LLC is pretty darn easy. Don't get me wrong, but behind the scenes is not. What you have to do is, in some cases, you got to quit your job, then start your business. You're hoping to make six figures, but not going to happen. Then you want to buy a truck. You want to live the American dream, but that's not reality. Today, I want to talk honestly about what becoming an electrical contractor is really like. Not the YouTube fantasy, not the highlight reel, the truth, the good, the bad, and the lessons I've learned on the way. Let's talk about my journey. Why did I start an electrical contracting business? Because I'll be honest, I wanted to retire. I looked at the sunset. I'm 52. I looked at the sunset. I see retirement coming. I get a military pension. I get their health care because I served 31 years in the military. So I was looking to retire and enjoy life. So why? What was my path? Well, let's talk about my way in the past. I started active duty, right? I was active duty. Then I went reserves, met my wife, and I started my own. I started in residential wiring. After that, I joined the union. After the union, I went into industrial maintenance, loved it. In industrial maintenance, I went into teaching. I was teaching electricians, and I was running an apprenticeship program. This is my path. This is my life. This is my reality. Then my world came crushing down. The union no longer really supported the worker. They were just supporting themselves as individuals. So I saw that, and I saw the way the company was changing. It was no longer the same company. I know the company has to make money. I know that the company has to do certain things. But the things they were doing was against my ethics. So between that and the union, I had to go. It just no longer fit. Now, I don't mind going back as a contractor. Don't get me wrong. But it was no longer feasible for me to stay. So what did I do? So before I decided to leave, I finally got the final straw. What happened was I'm sitting down on my desk. I have a contractual 48 hours. My union guy comes in, president, sits down and goes, "Sean, you're only going to work 40 hours. I'm like, "But my contract says 48. He's like, "No. I don't know about you, but a union president should not take money away from my pocket," right? I was using those 48 hours. I was a trainer. I was developing training. I was helping out my electricians, my engineers. I was literally the jack of all trades. So that made my decision easy. Once he left, I needed a job first. So I couldn't just start a contracting business. I needed employment. Starting a contract business is not easy. You'll lose money, and I don't want to lose my house. So I looked for a job, became a teacher. With the teaching, I knew my summers were off, so that was it. Then I started my business. My ideal was solid, or at least I thought it was. This is my idea, starting electrical contracting and service company. I come fix your machines in the industrial world. I get it running. I get it beautifully going. At the same time, your electrician will be right next to me. I'll be teaching them. That was my business plan. I'll come fix your machines and teach your maintenance team how to fix it quickly and safely. But not yet. Again, I had to survive. I'm the main breadwinner. So I found that teaching job. August 25th, well, before that, I submitted my LLC. My buddy, he owns an ice cream place in Aston. I talked to him. He gave me a person to talk to. That person helped me create an LLC, get an EIN number. Tech Train Solutions LLC was born from this. From that, I had to get insurance. So I called Insurion, got a nice insurance plan. So I was covered, right? I called TBC. TBC is online computer-based training. So my training idea was with my knowledge and capabilities, have you do computer-based training. You're already in the trades or you're trying to get another job that's above your scope, like commercial, going to industrial maintenance. Well, you can't do that, no offense. You just don't fit because you don't know what to do. So my thought process was I was just going to train you to do that with CBTs and my knowledge. So unfortunately, the CBTs weren't cheap. So I bought 10 licenses, pretty good amount of money out of my pocket. So I got that going. I got a website, got insurance. I'm putting money out, right? Luckily, I had to use my 401k because leaving, I had to use it for certain things. So that's what I did. So is it easy? No, because you needed the business idea, which I had, thank goodness. And I needed to start a business. I had to come up with a structure. What are you doing? LLC, sole proprietor, partnership. What is the benefit of each? Well, I want an LLC because I don't want my house taken away because something happens. You need to get insurance. You need to do advertising, which I didn't do. You need customers and you need growth. Well, 3 out of the 6 were easy. I was doing minor advertising. I had a business plan, but no customers and no money, no growth at all. One thing I learned is that being a good electrician and being a successful contractor are 2 different skill sets. You got to understand the things I didn't know, the things I guessed on, the things I looked at Google, YouTube, they're okay, but they weren't really 100% helping me start my business. A lot of electricians struggle. They fail not because they can't do the work. It's because no one teaches them about anything about a business. They lose, and they finally stop and go back to contract and go working for someone. So what did the military teach me? Because it helped me out and made me better at this business thing. Well, I'll be the first to admit, the military doesn't teach QuickBooks. The military doesn't teach marketing. No one sat me down and explained Google reviews, SEO, advertising, financing, or estimating. Now, I knew enough about estimating in the commercial industrial world, but residential, not so much. The military gave me some valuable skills, though. They gave me discipline, accountability, leadership, mission planning, and the ability to stay calm under pressure. The ability to keep moving when you're exhausted, and the ability to do difficult things when you don't feel like doing it. Like, suck it up, move on. Those lessons don't make you an electrician. They make you dependable, and customers hopefully will notice that if you work on your marketing. So needless to say, I'm running my business. I'm now teaching. And I'm not getting the calls, but I'm prepared. I'm doing whatever I do get called. Luckily for me, it's word of mouth. I'm doing what I'm doing, right? I'm making sure I'm good to go. That's what I'm having. But fortunately for me, you'll be surprised how far those simple habits in the military can take me, hopefully in business. I'm struggling. Most people probably quit and move on. I'm not. I am figuring it out. I'm changing my mindset. Those skills will help me out. I'm hoping my reputation will build. That's what I'm hoping. Now let's talk about you as the military person. Just talk to business. You're either getting out or you're already out. You're a veteran. Let's talk about the mission. The mission in the military was kind of solid. You knew what was going on, but your mission has changed. but your purpose didn't. You still have to do certain things. There was a point in my life when I thought I knew exactly how my future was going to look. Like I was saying, I was going to retire at 60. I planned when I was younger though, I retired 2 years ago. My other plan was to continue my military service. That was my mission. And then the reality hit my life. I got asthma. I gained weight. I couldn't lose it. My life changed. Like many veterans, I was exposed to things during my service and eventually affected my health. I developed asthma connected to fire pits in Iraq. My physical abilities changed, and I was medically forced to retire. That wasn't what I planned. That wasn't what I wanted. Anyone who goes through an unexpected career transition knows exactly what I'm talking about. You spend years building an identity around something. Then suddenly it's gone. For a while, I had to figure out what was next. What I eventually realized was that the mission changed, but my purpose didn't. Service didn't end. I still had a family to take care of. I had a future to take care of. I wanted to retire. I'm looking down the end. That was different. I'm no longer in the military. I had a job. Unfortunately, the job changed. My mission changed again. I'm teaching, and my other mission is to get this business going. Instead of military uniform, serving my country, I found a different purpose, serving the people in my local community in the electrical trade. My other business, that's my contracting side. My other business is training, like I said. I want to train the future electricians. I want to build a business where I can go to an industrial complex and your maintenance sucks, and I can build them to be good, real good. That is my other business plan. That's Tech Training Solutions. This perspective in the military helped me move forward. I was so pissed. I'll be honest. I was so pissed after the union rep left. I was so pissed. I went right in there and applied and got the job that day. And I know there are a lot of veterans listening who need to hear the transition that you're going to deal with. Sometimes life's mission changes. That doesn't mean you're done. That doesn't mean that. That's what happens. Mission changes. Even if you're not in the military, your mission changes. If you don't know, your mission is your life. Your mission is raising your family. Your mission is providing for your family or providing for yourself if you're single. Providing your wants and needs are met. That is your mission. So let's go more into the business side, though, what I was talking about with the business. No one talks about the incidentals, the insurance. Let's talk about the one of the least exciting part of becoming a contractor, insurance. No one makes YouTube videos about insurance because it's boring, but it can make or break your business. A lot of people think you will have some tools, put a ladder on your truck, and start making money. For those doing side work, that's great. I did side work, but the thing is, you got to understand, if something happens and homeowner in the house, they're going to see your butt, and you're going to lose your house. That's why it's good to have insurance, to have some backup. That's what insurance is for. Reality is a little different. You have general liability, workman's compensation. What that means is you as a worker are working for someone. If you get hurt in a job and cannot work, you have to have some sort of pay system to keep you whole until you come out of the medical problem. That's workman compensation. You have vehicle insurance. You have license fees. That means the townships or cities, you have to be licensed, so you have to pay for those. You have permit fees. Every time you pull a permit, you have to pay for something. Some townships, it's by the amount, how much you're doing the job. Don't forget about accounting expenses. Having a business is very different, so accounting is definitely different. Tax obligations, software, advertising costs, which I didn't really do that, and that's probably why I'm struggling. And before you make that first dollar, I ran into a unique challenge because I teach electrical training and perform electrical work, right? I do both. I had insurance with Progressive, and that insurance was covering both sides, or at least I thought. They checked my website, and next thing you know, my broker calls and goes, Sean, they checked your website. They're dropping you because you just do too much. I'm like, what do you mean? This is my business model. I do this when I worked in my last workplace. I did both. I did training and contract and electrical work. Well, apparently it's too much. So they dropped me. I spent time explaining my operations and dealing with delays before everything could be properly set up. No one talks about those obstacles, but they're real and they cost time. Sometimes they cost money. Business owners isn't just about getting to work. It's about creating systems that protect the work. With that, now I don't know what to do. I have no insurance. I was dropped. So now I have a training business and a contracting business under one name, Tech Train Solutions, LLC. I ask advice on ChatGPT. I ask advice from I was a tax person. They're like, look, you got to separate the business. I'm like, what do you mean? You got to have two separate LLCs, separate bank accounts and everything. I'm like, oh my gosh. It was a nightmare. So I had to go back on the state of Pennsylvania. Luckily, I knew enough. I had started my own process. I got my own EIN. I have a new name, Tech Train Solutions Service Division, strictly contracting, residential, commercial, industrial. That is what it does. Nothing to do with training. Now I have the business. It's all set up. I need insurance. So where do I go? I looked everywhere. Everybody's saying no, 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 including the training. But then finally, I went to one of the big names. It's B-Burke, right? Berkshire. And they said yes. Thank goodness. And what I mean by yes, you're going to a drop of how much I have to pay for the contracting side. It might be because of the industrial. So here is my yearly fee, $1,952 a year. I have to pay insurance to make sure I'm covered in case something happens. That's a lot. Now, mainly because I'm doing $2 million. That's number one, because industrial companies want you to have $2 million. And it might be also because I'm doing industrial. That is one of my insurances. The other one for the training, I finally got that. Thanks to Fudugeni in Aston, Pennsylvania. Let me pull them up and I'll show it to you. They were able to get me insurance. I was able to finally get insurance because of them. Let me show you their website. This is them. Fulgenti Group. They helped me so much. If you're near Aston, Pennsylvania, and you need services done, they are amazing. They do good work. They're very respectful. The notary service is quick. The insurance is good. I messed up a few times where I forgot my registration. They took care of me. This is a good place to go. The insurance they gave me, let me show you, is this for training. I'm strictly just doing training. Look at the price, though, for the training. Now, I'm not doing any work. I'm just training you. That's $1,600. So I have two separate insurances to provide coverage, right? That's what I have. And then another thing, too, is the one thing that I'll show you and I didn't have yet is workman's compensation. Because as an owner, I don't need it. But to get help from someone in the street, I got to hire them, and then I would need workman's comp. Fortunately for me, I found a company, State Farm, yeah. They contacted me, and they were able to give me workman's compensation. The cost there, because what I said is they're not going to make more than $10,000, not unless I really get busy, and then I'll have to call them and let them know that I'm doing more than $10,000 for that person. Here is an example of my workman's comp. Let me show it to you. That is my workman's comp. My total is $535 is what I'm paying. Okay, I'm saying, oh, there it goes. They're not going to make more than $16,000 in a year. That's it, right? So if you're going to make more, I'm going to have to pay more. And I get audited at the end of the year to verify that I stayed within that. And that's why I will make sure if I make more than that or if I start getting busy that I move that. This is the stuff that you, who wants to start electrical contracting business or any type of business, have to work with. It's not cheap. So the next part, I'm going to talk about, let me hang up with this. Let's talk about customers, right? The next part is customers, I'll be honest, are the hardest part of the job. Dealing with, I just had an inspection, right? Awesome. I haven't done this in a while, so that was my first real inspection because the last couple of jobs was just outlets and switches. Don't really need much for that. So with that, after my first inspector was amazing. Did great. But the hardest part is customers. Here's something I never expected, right? The hardest part, non-electric work, it's the people. People are, first, hard finding them without putting a lot of money out into advertising. It's not easy. You have to advertise or you won't get any customers. Most electricians, like us, can follow a diagram, can troubleshoot. They know the code requirement. Most of us, right? Each township and state has a different year they use. Philadelphia uses 2017 NEC code book. Delaware uses 2023. And I think New Jersey uses 2023. Managing customers' expectations can be difficult. They're a different challenge. As a homeowner, I understand that world of hiring contractors. I'll be honest. I tell people I don't trust too many contractors. I don't, because I know some are trying to get over you. Once I trust you, though, I'm your guy for life. The thing is homeowners think this is cheap. I just showed you everything that we need to pay as contractors. So you spend time creating this wonderful estimate. You're doing the best. You're trying to only make around 35, 40% max, only to never have that person contact you back or even say, no, I'm good, thank you. Nothing. You have customers comparing your price to a handyman or to a person doing side work who's not putting any money out except for just doing that side work, putting his money. He's not even licensed. And if something happens, you're not getting any money as a homeowner. You have to sue the house, all that, to try to get their money. You hear someone, like a customer, say, this will only take 15 minutes. I saw on YouTube. What? They're taking more than 15 minutes. They're not seeing you with 20 years of experience. That 20 years experience took you to find that problem, right? As you open it, you find more problems. As you find more problems, you have to fix it. And as you fix it, you have to do certain things. They don't see that. They just see replacing an outlet. When you pull in the outlet, they don't see that the ground wire is missing, right? It's behind the screw. You got to take that ground wire out. Still ground the box. You have to. The device. Or they give you a device like a GFCI with a thin box. It's not fitting. You can't. You got to replace the box because it's too small. The cubic inches is against code, so you got to make sure that's correct. They don't see that. They're not paying you to tighten screws. They're paying you for your knowledge, your experience, your problem-solving ability, and safety, and code appliance. And making sure their home doesn't burn down because something was done incorrect and you didn't fix it. I'm telling you, one time, again, a buddy, no light for a year. History was messed up. A contractor, probably a handyman, worked on it. I go in there, five seconds, I'm exaggerating, maybe a little bit longer. I fixed it. Done. Another time, the homeowner, I go to the house, he's expecting, I gave him a quote. It's like, oh my gosh, too much money. Well, guess what? He had so many problems. We had a wire in one house a long time ago that we see it, we don't see it. We see it, we don't see it. We see it, we don't see it. I thought knob and tubing, didn't see any knob and tubing. And then I go upstairs to the attic and I see mice dropping. And then I'm looking, I can't find a wire. I'm assuming it's somewhere. And I hate to say it, the wire probably got eaten, right? Because there's mice. I've seen that. I've seen mice eat through wires. So what I do, I tell the homeowner, I said, look, I got to run new wire. Oh my gosh, it is what it is. This wire's bad. If you want this to work, I have to run the wire. Because if not, I got to take it out of the system. Because right now I feel it's unsafe because this can cause a fire. So they agree. I replaced the wire. I had to do a little damage. I'm not the greatest at drywalling, so I re-drywall, put some spackle, did a quick sanding. I'm like, look, get someone else to take care of it. So the longer, though, this is the problem. The longer you're in business, the more you'll realize the customer education should be part of the job. As you're talking, like I was talking about the homeowner, I was talking to he or she the whole time, telling her exactly what's going on so they understand. I was trying to make it layman's term. So that is one thing that you as a contractor should learn to do, is to be able to state what's going on, why it costs more than it needed to cost. Take pictures. Like the job, I just did the lighting job you probably saw on YouTube. I found 2 flying splices in the ground. I took pictures of one of them. And then downstairs, the electrical system wiring was horrendous. So I had to take the time to fix it. So that was part of the price. I didn't want to charge more, but I had to. When I was younger, definitely. Underpricing work. Like a lot of people starting out look at the materials and labor. That is it. That is a recipe for failure, because a job cost is more than materials and labor. You have fuel, insurance, drive time. People forget this. Drive time. That's why I try to do jobs no less than 25 miles. Any more than that, I'm going to have to charge for gas. Office expenses, paying phone bills, software again, tool replacement, because if you lose a tool, it goes bad, you got to replace it. And if they want warranty work, I'm sorry, if I'm going to warranty your stuff, I'm going to charge you a warranty fee. Don't forget about taxes, because you're going to buy equipment. There's taxes with that. Licenses, permits, your estimated time. You're thinking a job's going to take 2 hours. You're planning 2 hours. As you're doing the work, you open it up, like, oh my gosh, there's a spaghetti nest. My gosh, there's a flying splice in the wall somewhere. Well, those 2 hours done. You got to fix it. 4, 6, 8 hours later, you're finally done. Well, that should be accountable to your time, because you didn't know that. And don't forget about callbacks. So you finish job, everything's good. Yeah, I don't like the color receptacle. Can you change it to white? Callback. Everything, every time you estimate, there's hidden costs. Remember that. So always, like material, most contractors and businesses charge 30% on materials. Reason they do that is the material cost is material cost. 30% is if you need to get a little more, if something else happens, you have a cushion and you put it in the bank afterwards. If you're not accounting for all them, if you're not paying the customer's job out, if you're not, you're going to take it out of your pocket. If you don't estimate it right, it's going to come out of your pocket. Learning these lessons, I did anyway, the hard way is an unfortunate common issue. My problem is that I like to be fair and honest. So when I do pricing and the person here hollers, I'm thinking, all right, it's just not fair and honest. Am I wrong with this pricing? That's the problem I'm having, because I don't want to cheat you. I don't want to do that. I want to work with you, do the job right, but at the same point, I have to make a profit to put back in the business. I want to hire. Many contractors don't go out of business because of work. They go out of business because they priced the job incorrectly. Revenue does not equal profit. The lessons every contractor eventually learns, but unfortunately, some of them it's too late. When I first started doing this in 2006, it was too late. I wasn't making money. I was losing money hand and foot. So now I'm making sure I'm charging correctly. When you ask me to try to do the lowest job possible, I'm going to find things to remove. Now, understand, remove, because I'm not doing them. It's not part of the job. But if I have to, because of safety concern, I'm going to have to increase the invoice, estimate invoice. That is something we as contractors have to remember. Look, I'm fair and honest. I like to take care of people, but you still got to make money. You still have to put money into business. You got to pay for all that crap. All right? Now, this is some of the stress that no one talks about. This is other stress. Let's have an honest conversation. Being a contractor kind of sucks. It's kind of stressful. You wonder, will the phone ring next week? Will somebody leave a bad review? Will I have enough money, if I do hire, enough money to pay my employee? Right? We'll have enough money for payroll. I don't know. What happens if that person gets hurt? Well, if I only have one person, what do? I'm teaching, right? I can't just stop teaching. Or if I'm working and I get hurt, there's no one covering me down. What do? What happens, and this does happen, I've been laid off many times. What happens if the economy slows down? We get into a major recession, right? What happens? These are questions that are always in back of the mind, my mind anyway. The responsibility as a worker, yeah, you're all right, whatever, get a job. As an owner, it is different. Your stress level is different. Your family life is different. Nobody is guaranteeing your paycheck anymore. And you know what that's great about us military people? That's when the military experience kicks in. It's very valuable. Because I've been through stressful situations. I've been in Iraq. I've been in convoy operations. I've been bombed. I remember walking down guard tower and seeing a mortar go off right in front of my face. It was neat, by the way. I never saw a mortar like this. When I'm walking down, I saw like air go this way and back in, and then it did this, and then it went boom. That's when I realized it was a mortar. So I've been through stressful situations. And one lesson always stood out. Don't panic. Make a plan. Panic solves nothing. If you panic, you're not thinking straight. Slow down. Write stuff down. Planning solves problems. When businesses slow down, make a plan. What can you do? What are you able to do? When expenses increase, make a plan. When a mistake happens, make a plan. That's how you move forward, right? One step at a time. For those who aren't in the military, who doesn't know or have never dealt with the major stress issues like we're talking about, take your time, make a plan. Stressing, rushing doesn't help. Does not help. So this is the next segment, military lessons that help contractors. The more I run my business, the more I see the parallels between military service and contracting. Every job, like I said, is a mission. I must complete that mission to the best of my ability within budget. Before every mission, I need to gather all the intel, the information, because every job, you need to walk the job site, do your recon, look for problems that might become expensive, and communicate. Now, what I mean by expensive, the last job I was at for the lighting job, I did walk it. I saw a wire, thought it was it. I saw another wire, didn't think it was it. I'm looking, all right, I'm working on this one wire, and it's not it because I'm working on it, and I'm like, uh-oh, something's not right. So I splice it. I turn the circuit breaker on. I have no voltage, and the lights are on. I'm like, uh-oh, must be the other wire. So I didn't plan that. I also didn't plan that the other side of the street was a different circuit. I thought they ran to the other side of the building. I did not know that. So I communicated with the ownership. Let them know, look, they're two separate circuits. This is the wiring part. I didn't charge any extra, but the fact is that was an extra circuit that had to be charged extra because of different wiring systems. I had to do things different. Now I had to add a box in the ground, and I put a photocell there to turn on and off the lights because the wire was 36 inches into the ground, couldn't get into it. The other side, the wire was right at ground level, pipe, and coming through the wall. I was able to work on that. This one I can't, so I had to do something different. Communication works. Customers deserve updates. They always do. I try to make transparent. This is what I'm seeing. I ordered lights. I got 12. They're coming in. I'm doing the lights. I found 2 more. They were hidden in bushes. Just to let you know, there's 14 lights. I'll order the next 2, but I'll finish everything but that. I let them know. Nobody likes being left in dark. Nah, they don't. Even the homeowners working in the basement, you find an issue, go get them. Hey, just let you know, it's the major issue I'm seeing. And so I'm going to make it safe. I'm not going to charge you any extra for here, but if you want it back, I will have to charge. Like I did an outlet in the bathroom. Found the wire from that bathroom was an extension cord. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I remove it. I'm like, it's unsafe. So I told him I can add a new circuit, but it's really far. It's 50 feet away. I have to charge. Like, oh, I can't afford it. I'm like, all right, well, we'll talk about it later. But I took care of the safety problem first. That's what you have to do. Communication. So with that, you got to think about other things. You got to think about checking your equipment daily, at least. Make sure they work, your meters. You don't want to have your meter turn on and not work because you forgot the batteries died. You got to inventory your truck. Make sure you have all the components that you need because some service calls are quick, but if you don't have the part, you got to run to Home Depot instead of going right to the job. And inspect your meters, your tools, your alignments, dial cutters. Check all your tools. Make sure they're in good working order. Take care of them, clean them. And always try to avoid preventable failures. Now, this is big. The one thing the military taught me, which I need to do more, I used to do a lot, it's called after action review. Right? This is AAR, it's called. This is after the mission, after you're done, you're reflecting. There's a reflection period where you are asking yourself, what went well? Be honest. You have to be open and honest with yourself. What went well with the job? Well, that lighting job, what went well? Well, the fixtures were installed correctly, so I don't have to the stands, they were installed correctly, so that made it easy. The wiring on the other side of the street was nice and orderly, so I don't have to worry about that. That made it easy. Access was easy to do. A lot of good things. Then you got to ask, what didn't go well? Well, I didn't look at it right. I didn't know about the other side. I should have done more investigation. The other wire that I didn't know was it. I should have done more investigation. The other things, the fixtures, they were too hidden. I'm telling you, I looked, but I should have maybe got second eyes. Like my son, I gave him he doesn't help me, but he comes with me sometimes and hangs out. I should have had him look too. That didn't go well. So the next thing you have to ask yourself, what can I improve next time? One thing I got to improve is I got to look at everything. I got to verify. I got to get my meter out. I have to buy a better tester, like an underground tester where I can plug it to it, and it even looks down 3 feet. I can follow it. That if I had that tool, I would have found all the wiring. I would have found out where it goes. That would have been helpful. See, I did what can I improve? Take my time with the bidding process. I kind of went a little quick because it was, I thought I had to. That's what I did. Now, next, military helped me with is leadership. Leadership matters. Now I'm going to run a business. I got to lead these people. Another thing I got to do is take responsibility. Even if the lowest person messes up and causes major issues, it's my business. I got to take responsibility. It is what it is. I have to. I can't blame the helpers. I can't blame the employees. I have to own the outcome. And then another thing, too, is to help with liability and everything else is you must understand, even in the military, safety matters. Tell your team, if you hire people, do not rush. Do it the right way. And if you have to do something unsafe, let me know. We'll find the right way to do it. Because you don't want them to get hurt. Because workman's comp is not cheap. If someone gets hurt, going up. Driving like a nut, get a ticket. Your insurance for your vehicles go up. Safety matters. The next part I learned in the military, too, is complacency. Complacency kills. It does. You getting complacent, you can get killed very easily. Definitely in the industrial world. Dude, these voltages can blow up in your face. They can hurt you. Commercial and residential. Residential, you got to realize, it only takes 0.4 milliamps to stop your darn heart. So complacency kills. Work on getting yourself out of that. Do the right thing the right way. Do it, man. It's tough. If you don't do it, your insurance will go up. There's another thing. Whenever you're overseas or working around electricity, shortcuts, like I said, eventually catch up. There's a pyramid they made for safety. And the bottom of the pyramid is all the possible injuries, right? All those injuries. Possible misses, not injuries. You missed the ladder. You missed the nail. Well, the next phase is, you stepped on the nail. Oh, you did this. The next part is now you stepped on the nail. You ripped. You're very pain. You can't work anymore. And it keeps going up to death. Because you're missing all these, okay? All these eventually catches up to death. So you got to understand. Next part is your integrity. If you're a contractor that doesn't have integrity, people will see it. You might cheat and steal and all that, and you might get away. You might be fine, but you might get caught too. If you have integrity, people will see that. People will recommend you. Integrity matters. And this is the next part that is hard for everybody. Doing the right thing when nobody's watching. That's the tough part. Doing the right thing when nobody's watching. That's tough. Try to work on that. These military lessons transfer directly into ownership. That's what I'm just talking about. Now, here are some of the biggest mistakes I made. If I could go back and talk to myself when I first started this business thought process, I could have done many things, right? I wish I did a better job bidding. I'm a trusting guy. I got ripped off a few times when I was younger. I didn't really fully understand the insurance. I didn't understand that I had to split my business. I didn't know I waited too long to market. I started marketing today, so hopefully something happens. And I assumed my good work would automatically get customers, but that's not the case. And this last one surprised me. Good work matters. It does. I already know that, but it matters. I've seen other people do work, not good work, and something happened. But people need to know you exist. That's why marketing is not an option. I've been avoiding it. I've been trying it myself. I suck. I'm finally doing it. That's the problem. Another thing that is a mistake is customer service isn't an option. They call, you answer. My problem is my phone's linked to somebody who was in the medical field, so I'm getting these weird calls from people who are looking for a doctor. That is a problem. And this is another big one, reputation. So I was talking about integrity. If you do that, your reputation will build. Reputation management isn't an option. Keep your name in a positive light. You could be the best electrician in town, but if no one knows you, or you're a jerk, or your integrity sucks, it won't matter. You're not getting anything. Or you get something, but they don't know why. They're just hiring you, not knowing why. Once they find out, they'll probably get rid of you. This is now, the next segment is advice for future contractors. If you're thinking of starting an electrical business, here's my advice. Work for someone first. Learn troubleshooting, learn estimating, learn customer service, learn the paperwork, learn communication, save your money, build a financial cushion, understand your numbers. Don't rush. Do not rush. Save your money. And please don't buy that $90,000 truck. Don't buy that expensive tools kit. It doesn't matter. A truck doesn't make the contractor. Profit does. The goal isn't to look successful. The goal is to survive, to build, to get bigger. Okay? Now, in closing, if you're a veteran thinking about getting into trades, I want to hear this. I want to hear you. You already have valuable skills that you don't realize, or you do realize that you have. The military taught you discipline. It taught you accountability. It taught you how to handle pressure. And now you just need to learn business. That's why I always tell people who are lost, don't know what they're doing, join the military, join a trade. And as you're doing it, take a business course. Learn how to run a business. Because even if you don't run your business, if you get hired from someone and they decide to make you a foreman, you're going to have to run their business for them to help them out. That's one thing I learned. I was taking business, but now I started teaching. Now I got to go to teaching, learn that world. And then when I'm done, I'll go back to hopefully going back to business class. That's one thing I learned. The others, if you're willing to put the work in and master, your leadership skills and business, you'll be fine. Even though your mission changed, you're getting out of the military or you're getting out of high school or you're leaving the desk job, your mission has changed. Life has an unexpected turn, but purpose does not disappear. Remember, you got to take care of your family, take care of yourself. Sometimes the next mission is just right there. You just got to call and grab it. So next one is call of action. This is what I need from you. I want to hear from you. What's one thing nobody warns you about in the trades? That'd be one question I would love to have you guys talk to me about. Drop it in the comments. And if you're a veteran, tell us what military skill has helped you in this civilian life. Which one? If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you subscribe, share it with someone who's thinking about starting their own business. And I'll see you next episode. Stay safe, keep learning, and keep yourself moving. This is Sean from Tech Train Solutions. Seeing you later. Yeah.